CX here. That's what I want to ask you about before I get to Mr. Burke. So you collaborated, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's a team effort.
So I wanted to ask you about the design. Now we're in the lobby, and there's some interesting angles in there. Are these arbitrary, or what's it sort of the?
No, I mean we're trying to have a relationship to the adjacent property, also kind of bringing in some of the green space that you see down here. So we thought it was a nice way to kind of blend the interior and exterior of the building and not have just a hard edge between the two. I think the angle kind of helps that, kind of brings in the outside, and then kind of frames to the entrance as well.
Okay, so was that a whim, if you will, in terms of the design? I mean, sometimes there's reasons for specific angles and so on.
The other thing was to create a lantern for the streetscape.
Right.
Okay.
Right when you come off the metro, you come right up the metro here at Columbia Heights, you look out. In the evening, you see this glowing lantern right on the street. And so it's very enticing.
That's a visual aid to bring you to the building, though, right? Okay.
But it's enticing, it's an enhancement to the community, it's an enhancement to the streetscape.
Okay, but I still want to ask you about the angles in general, because the angles, there's some unique angles about this building that don't look really anything like anything in its context, given that that's a renovation right next door. Or is that really a renovation, or does it just look like a renovation? It's a brand new building, but that's more of a traditional looking building, whereas this is almost starkly contemporary compared to anything else in the community. So you're introducing a whole new vocabulary, if you will.
I think just at the lobby space, I think the lobby was really meant to be a special place that was very evident to people passing on the street that this is where the main entrance would be. And also I think it's a progressive architecture. I think it's giving DC something they haven't seen before, but it's actually being done all over New York and Europe. I think it's a statement, definitely. But at the same time, I think it really helps to open up the public's view of what a facility like this could look like.
Okay, but tell me about that, because I find it interesting. I mean, I met Frank Gehry, and I know he's off the far edge of the angles and the curves and all that.
Right.
Were you influenced by any particular designer, or is this your own style, would you say?
No, it's definitely not my own style. I would say that firms like OMA, Dillard, Scofidio, big architecture, firms like that, I think...
are those DC firms, or are those out of...
Those are international firms. I think they're known to bring kind of subtle differences to an archetype, like you would see, like if you're calling that a building that DC is used to seeing. I think there's slight modifications that you can make that have a major impact, and I think having an extruded volume on the 2nd to 7th level and then having a slight angle at the bottom really has a nice contrast. I think it accents what's happening above and really gives prominence to that volume that you see as you're getting off the metro or you're walking down the street. Just that slight angle to the eye, it's the first thing you brought up was the angles. I think it helps accentuate what you're trying to accomplish as a whole.
Gary, would you mind being my